Hi, this is Evangelist B. Today I want to take you on the journey of a little discussion about Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA, the founder of God's Kingdom Ministry that was established in Ukraine around 1995/1996 and or thereabout. We are talking about Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA. The reason why I wanted to bring this discussion to the public domain is because it is an issue that concerns the life of the greater population of the world, the greater number of the world population. We are talking about the vaccine that Bill Gates is advocating into Africa for the case of the coronavirus. And in this discussion, I am not here to argue unnecessary with hatred or being so much critics to Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA. And I want to say equivocally that I do not hate Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA, neither do I hate Bill Gates Foundation and Bill Gates himself. To some of us, Bill Gates is doing something good the way we look at it. People used to say that beauty is on the eyes of the beholder. And also, morality depends on the understanding of the person who is trying to practice what is moral or what is immoral. So let me agree that Bill Gates is a good philanthropist, and Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA is a man who recognizes or saw the benevolent spirit that is in Bill Gates and trying to reinterpret the misunderstanding of we the black people or the Africans, right? Let me agree or take it in that aspect because I want to be neutral here. So for instance, we are talking about COVID-19, which the Bill Gates prompted Bill Gates to introduce a vaccine that he wants to give to the Africans and to the whole world. Like I said, when somebody wants to argue on something, you base your argument based on the founding researches people have done, investigation that people have done to prove beyond reasonable doubt there is no ulterior motive into this moral act or benevolent act that an individual want to offer to the general public. The COVID-19 is something that came to the world, which some people classify to have outbursted from the Chinese province called Wuhan, China. And some people claim it's a laboratory manufactured biochemical kind of virus. And some people said it's from the animal species like bat and like other bush animals, which we know predominantly is consumed by Chinese people. All manner of animals, meat, bush meat is a very cultural something in China that a lot of people embrace to be eating every kind of living thing. Now, the scientists around the world, even through the World Health Organization, have not identified any vaccine for this very coronavirus. In fact, some of the things that we see even the BBC News, CNN News. They said this vaccine could take up to January 2021, which means it would take around 1 year before this vaccine could be able to come out for public use. Now, this coronavirus burst out or spreading in the world started from December 2019, concealed, and misinterpretation and misinformation were circulating, which American government is basically pinpointing as a misinterpretation and informing the public, misleading the public, why they withdraw the funding or withholding the funding from WHO. Now, if the World Health Organization and the science people have come out to say that there is no vaccine that will be available until 12 months, which is around January 2021. And eventually a philanthropist like Bill Gates is going to Africa, trying to give this vaccine by all means. He said he has a vaccine. Who approved this vaccine? Which organization, which scientists have approved this vaccine? Which president of the world? Is it German? Is it Australian president? Is it prime minister? Is it UK prime minister? Is it United States of American government? Is it Israeli government? Who prime minister have? Or is it Italian or Spanish? Have come out? Is it French government have come out and said that we have developed a vaccine that we can use for the prevention of this thing? This is one point that I want to use against Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA. Now, where did Bill Gates get the vaccine he wants to give to people? And why is it that he advocates that everybody should be locked down until the vaccine is taken? And who is the owner, the patent owner of this vaccine? This is what the evidences we are going to look into. Primary intention of this vaccine, or the things we are going to use as a focal point in order to be able to find whether there is ulterior motive in the vaccine or not. Like I said, I don't hate Bill Gates, neither do I hate Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA, but I like to base argument on based on morality, the good heart of doing something. Anybody that have the heart or has money to help the poor, alleviate poverty, that is welcome. I supported it and I accept it. But when there is an ulterior motive into any a kind of benevolence, just like we call a means to an end, that means is very ungodly, is an immoral act. Now, Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA, can he come to tell us where he investigated this matter to find out that this vaccine is authentic, that is the prevention of this pandemic that we are talking about? Has Bill Gates tested this vaccine on his own body, the wife, the children, to prove that this vaccine is what it says that it's going to do? Or can Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA present himself and his wife and his children to be injected this vaccine as an example of good thing? Because I know that anybody who cooks food, if a man prepare delicacy and refuses to eat his delicacy, it means there is something wrong. We can assume that maybe there is a poison into his delicacy. That's why he doesn't want to eat. If I produce a product which I cannot be able to fancy or like or test it within my own body or my own being to show an example of goodness of that product, that means there is a certain ulterior motive behind that product that I produce. Now, Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA said that, first of all, he said, one of the article I read was that Bill Gates have a good intention for the Africans. He want to help Africans to prevent this coronavirus spreading to Africa. Again, he came up in the other article and said something like that the Africans have to apologize to Bill Gates for tagging him or criticizing him. You see what happened in Belgium a few days ago in Geneva meeting that Bill Gates was entering into the convention. What happened? I don't think it's a black guy that did that thing that he did to that happens to Bill Gates. Secondly, there is a man called Dr. Shiva. Dr. Shiva is a man that have 4 PhDs, and he is putting it into contest that Bill Gates and his co-hosts are even the head of the Secretary General of the WHO should come and sit down with him to debate it, or any scientist in the world should come and let there be an open debate. The man said he has 4 PhDs. He has written so many software, so many books. He's a biologist. He's a scientist. He's an economist. He has intelligence that he has gained through his studies, through his lifetime study in every aspect of school of thought or discipline. This man said that Bill Gates has no knowledge and there is no vaccine for this. And he also argued how long it could take to develop this vaccine, the processes you can go to develop this vaccine, and what it requires to, what application methodology to use to be able to follow suit, to get information, vital information about it. There is codings that he said that have been used in this virus which need to be decoded before you get the ingredient, the recipes that was used to manufacture this bioweapon, then before you can be able to develop a vaccine. Now, and somebody else also posted a video. I say 2 American millionaires, billionaires have come up, donated, presented $100,000 and said that Bill Gates should come and inject this vaccine upon himself. Then they will give him this $200,000 and they will volunteer themselves to also to inject this vaccine. Like I said, if a man produces a product and you are not able to test your product to yourself or to your family members in order to prove the authenticity and the quality of this product, that means there is something wrong in that product. If I cook food, a delicacy, and I presented it to the visitors around my home or the visitor in my home to eat, and I did not put my hand, as we used to do in our tradition, to eat it first. And I said to them, I don't want to eat. Oh, I lost appetite. Why do you cook the delicacy in the first place? The people, the strangers will be amazed to see that the man who presented a delicacy were not said that he has no appetite to eat this delicacy. They will suspect him, and so many people. Some people might, because of shame or because of intimidation, that kind of sort of intimidation, eat the food, maybe become poisoning, and they will go and die. But this intelligent people will say, if you're not eating, we're not eating. So if Bill Gates could refuse to inject himself with his vaccine, use his wife or his children to inject this vaccine, why would someone else take it? I see a man who is called David Icke as well. David Icke means the Icke is I-C-K-E. He has a website called London Real. Also, he studied about the game of this virus and the game of this what we call the vaccine. He's been pointing on vaccine. Forget about the virus now. He's talking about the vaccine. He said he has studied it for 30 years. He was interviewed by Brian Jones, who is one of the international known journalists, a man who is eloquent enough. And the man was amazed to say to David Icke that the study, I am amazed to see that the study of 30 years ago just happened 3 weeks ago right now. That is amazed to see this thing happening in real time. So you can find out also in londonreal.com. londonreal.com. So you can find this video is more than 2 hours interview. I watch it to the end. And the man also referred to Bill Gates and his vaccine. And he is a critic of it and he objected. And not only that, there are so many prominent people around the world that are against this vaccine. Even President Trump did not keen to this vaccine. He objected it and he said he cannot accept this vaccine. These are the things that make the President of the United States, because people like Dr. Shiva and many other people have tried to investigate and try to do a study about this eminent vaccine that is introduced by Bill Gates, that which he is propagating, that every individual, every human being must take this vaccine. When you look at this vaccine, when and where did this coronavirus proceeded? Who are the people behind the production of this vaccine? When you look at it, you see that China has link to it. Bill Gates is the one funding it. Now, looking at these many authors and many actors who came out, prominent people, educated people, people who are biologists, people who are scientists, people who knew more about a virus, how it works, the combination of things that can make a virus to be so vast, terrorizing people like this coronavirus. Those men are debating and saying, put it into context, let us come in public domain to debate it, and let any scientist like Dr. Shiva, the Indian guy, he said, let any scientist around the globe come out and contest with me, and I will prove to them there is a game going on in this vaccine of Bill Gates enforcing on human being. Now, let me not take much time because I'm not a scientist. I am a philosopher. We reason with morality and reasonability and making use of common sense, the school of thought, by reasoning with what we see, the article we read, investigation other people have brought into public domain. We look into it, analyze it, and find out whether there is any ulterior motive or whether there is the content of the material, the articles they post. Our duty as a philosopher is to look into it, read it, and look at the point that this person is raising. The man who wants to give us vaccine, what is his point? What is aim and objective in giving vaccine? What evidence did he has about the production of vaccine? Scientifically, around the globe, it is well known and generally acceptable and agreed that there is no vaccine out there for the moment, at the moment, for this coronavirus. So where and how can the Bill Gates come and tell us where he got this vaccine? How long did it take them to investigate and make a research to bring this vaccine? That's why I say I don't want to argue that Bill Gates is not coming to help Africa, or that he hates Africa, or he has a ulterior motive. But if you follow the actors and the authors of many articles, both some of them have written series of books pertaining to what is happening at this very point in time around the globe. Some people have foreseen it in the past. They have foreseen it 30 years ago. They have foreseen it, some people 20, some people 10 years ago, and now it's coming to reality. So how and where did this outcome of this new vaccine that Bill Gates is propagating to bring to Africa, where did he get this information? Who is the piloting scientist who can come and tell us the ingredients that he used to produce this vaccine? And when did he start the research for this vaccine? What did he use? Is it the outburst of the corona that just came out December last year that prompted him to make a research? And how long did he take him to come to conclusion that the vaccine is ready? This is where my argument is. And I am not saying that I want this man to be crucified. But like I said, we want to judge based on knowledge and based also academic knowledge. I said, I'm not a scientist, but based on the academic knowledge of other people whom we have read the articles and based on the information the government of the world is giving us, how long it's going to take for us to produce a vaccine for this thing. So how come the vaccine from December, January, February, March, April, we are in April. This coronavirus have lasted 5 months now. And it's not up to 5 months because we have not finished April. 4 months plus. And from the outburst, from the first day that this corona outburst came to being, is 4 months plus. And the vaccine has been out since 4 months plus. Who can tell us that this type of miracle can happen on the surface of the earth? This is why so many people is arguing whether there is ulterior motive behind the benevolence, behind the opinion, behind the enforcement of everybody. Why must brigade say that everybody must take the vaccine? That is one of the greatest problems we are looking into. Did you understand? Now, like I said, when you want to argue something based on the morality aspect, based on human rights, or based on assisting humanity, or based on human behavior that shows some attribute of concern of saving life, you see that there is an atom of suspicion in this enforcement of vaccine. But I am basing my argument is today on against Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA. Where did he get his information? Remember that, don't forget that Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA was involved in a criminal act in Ukraine. He was a man of God, called by God, there's no doubt about it. But eventually he left his call and began to mingle himself with the politicians in Ukraine. The politicians in Ukraine used him to do this something microfinancing something management that also linked to Bill Gates as well. And you see now that the man who was fully involved in the projection of this microfinancing something is the man that is coming to defend the same man that brought this idea of helping the Africa. You know, it's helping the Africa. The microfinancing brigade have prophesied how many billion that he spent in Africa, and it is not profiting him anything. And he talked about Africa having numerous mineral resources, wasting for nothing. He talked about the population of Africa. He talked about Nigeria, good for nothing because he had invested 100 billion in Africa and of no profit. Then he came out with the idea of vaccine. I mean, when we look at it technically, we will see that the interest that this man has for Africa is not just to benefit us or to help us, but there is something behind it. But I just want to make this argument in a short form for some of our people who may not know exactly who Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA is. That Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA has a case in Ukraine about money laundering, helping the politician to take money outside the country, according to the Ukrainian government, accused him. Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA also, if you watch him, I've been following him since 1995, 96, when I was in South Korea, and I love him, the work he was doing. That time he started going on the street, helping the drunkard and helping the people, homeless people, and God wanted to alleviate him. Eventually, he left the altar and they went to be following the politicians, and the politicians set him up and they brought him down. Since then, he only concentrates his effort and his knowledge in criticizing every man of God. in his own concept, he doesn't believe there is any good thing that will come from any pastor in Nigeria. Only Kumuyi and the other and himself is the man of God that something good can come out of. You remember also that Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA is one of the people that have been projecting the government of Buhari, saying that Buhari is not the problem of Nigeria. He tried to label the ministers, the pastors in Nigeria, that they are the one corrupting the politician, instead of him seeing that it was the politicians who entered into the church to corrupt the gullible pastors. Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA seen opposite side of it, that it was the ministers of God that is corrupting the politicians in Nigeria, which I don't want to talk much about that, because some of these men of God also brought themselves so low that people who are in Freemason, Illuminatis, and Grand Lodge and Oboni could be able to penetrate the church and control them. I don't want to talk much about today, but I'm trying to say that Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA has no virtue in him, and has no knowledge of biology. He has no knowledge about science. He has no knowledge. All he knew is just that he went to Bible school. Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA just went to Bibles, and it is a Pentecostal Bible school that he went. Then he came out now, he want to defend somebody who is a Microsoft or a computer wizard. Even the man, they say, is not his knowledge. It is the knowledge of only he put his money. He has the business acumen to use his money to expand with the knowledge of other people who are expert in that field. Do you understand? So Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA cannot come out today and tell us that this man Bill Gates is trying to help Africa and telling us to apologize. While you see so many actors and many authors in the Facebook, many videos, white people saying there is ulterior motive to exterminate 500 million black people. This white man, no black people purchased him or invited them to God. They said, my conscience will not allow me to see this thing happening and being perpetuated against black people. And they came up and said, I cannot condone it. Even to my death, I cannot condone it. Then the same black man that the people are defending coming up to tell us that we black people, that we should follow the idea of injecting us vaccine, that the world have not proved that there is any scientist who have developed this vaccine. It's only substitute of using something like hydroxyne chloroquine that they say American government, French government, and other government are suggesting, and they have tested that using it as a treatment have bring improvement into the life of those who have been contaminated with this virus. So where is Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA is getting his knowledge about the good benevolence attitude of Bill Gates towards the African people? I want to conclude here and say that Pastor Sunday ADELEAJA, you should not be answering pastor anymore. You should go and join police full time. So let us know that you are no longer a pastor. Stop deceiving people. I know that you have a case pending in Ukraine. God Almighty, who have called you, is still giving you chance to repent fully from your evil. If you do not, because I see the road, the highway you are trending right now is a highway of destruction, eternal damnation, a highway of no return, because you want to get power, you want to become leader, you want to become a known person in the world. You cannot be known without a proper academic position like Dr. Shiva, who has 4 PhD and is ready to come out to define and to defend any argument based on biology, based on science. You can't use theory of Pentecostal theory to come and prove that you are a leader, or you know how to speak English, or combine one word or the other and express yourself. Then people now see you as a man who have the knowledge of leadership. First of all, before you acquire the knowledge of leadership, first of all, based on your Christian background, there must be virtue inside you. Virtue. the ability to judge between right and wrong, what is good and what is evil. If you like it, you have no moral capacity of whatsoever to come and tell us about leadership, because your leadership will be a flawed. Take off your leadership in your church in Ukraine and the manipulation and the money laundering. Take it for instance and tell us how your government, if you are given a chance to become the government of Nigeria, what type of government are you going to make? I rest my case here. This is Evangelist B reporting live. This is anyway, not live anyway, because this is a recorded video anyway. But I am speaking my mind. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's called BC Radio 1 News. BC Radio 1 News. Number 1. Please, if you like this video, give it a thumb high. And if you have any comment as pertaining to my discussion, don't fail to make your comment. I will look into your comment as much as I can. And if I have the ability or chance to respond, I will. But because there are many people will be commenting on this issue and you cannot talk, but I will select some few points of them and make my own analysis more or comment on it. Remain blessed. I will be bringing you more updates. God bless you.